Hello everyone, in this short and quick video, I will be reviewing and speed testing the Sabrent External hard drive enclosure. This is a 2.5-inch hard drive enclosure. I will be installing in it a Samsung SSD drive which is 250 gigabytes, and I'll be comparing the speed with an internal SSD on my PC. So let me first show you how to install it. I'm gonna switch to a closer camera. So this is here the enclosure. First of all, let me tell you that it comes with a really nice and thick USB 3.0 cable that is 2.6 feet long, which is great. First, you need to open the enclosure. So slide it open like this, and then lift the top here like this. And you notice there is a foam pad in the enclosure. Keep it. I'm gonna show you how to use it later. So this is the drive I'm gonna install in it. It is the 860 Evo from Samsung. And notice here in the enclosure, you have like a small connector. This is here the data connector, and this is the power connector. Just make sure to align the small one with the small one. So the small one on the drive with the small one in the enclosure. So it goes like this, slide it like this, and then here push it in and make sure it is pushed in all the way. So now it is installed. And now put the foam pad here on top of the drive. Especially if you're using a mechanical hard drive, it's very important to put this here to avoid that the drive vibrates. And then align here the pins like this. See the pins align here, and then push it in like this. And now it is installed. So let me now connect the USB 3.0 cable to it. And notice here it has an on-off button also. So now it is off. I'm gonna keep it off and I'm gonna turn it on once I connect it to my PC. So I'm gonna connect it to the PC now. Now it is connected to the PC. Of course, connected always to a 3.0 port on the PC. So now I'm gonna turn it on and notice how it lights up. I'm gonna switch now to screen recording to start the test. And this here is the setup for the speed test. Here I have an internal SSD drive, which is a Samsung 1TB 860 Evo also SSD drive. And here on the left, I have an internal King Dian 1TB, which is a very fast drive also. It is an SSD drive. And I'm gonna use the copying from the Samsung to the King Dian and vice versa to compare the speed of the internal SSD drives with the Sabrent SSD drive, that is the Samsung 250 gigabytes that is in the enclosure. And here it is here. Let me open it. So open a new window. I'm gonna put it here on the bottom. So let me delete this folder first to make sure that it is empty. So let me perform now the first test, which is copying from the internal SSD drives. This way we'll have a benchmark to test it on. And notice here that I'm getting a speed of around 460 megabytes per second. This is a mix of large and small files, so videos and photos. And notice here that the speed decreased a little bit. So let me perform now the same test, but for the Samsung SSD that is connected to the Sabrent enclosure. And notice here that we're getting a very good speed. It doesn't match, of course, the speed of the internal SSD to the internal SSD, but nevertheless, we are getting a very good speed. So we're getting around 350 megabytes per second for the large files, and approximately the same speed for the small files. So now I'm gonna perform the test in the opposite way. Let me first delete this here. And let me start with the internal SSD drives. And I'm getting also a very fast speed here, 470 megabytes, and it drops a little bit when it comes to the small files. So around 300 megabytes per second with the small files. And let me perform the same from the drive that is in the Sabrent enclosure. And I'm getting also very good speeds. They don't match, once again, the speeds of internal SSD drives, but they are really good speeds. Let me show you here a little bit how the SSD is working. So we have also good speeds using this drive. So as a summary, I'm gonna say that the Sabrent enclosure is really good. So it protects your drive. In case you have a hard drive, it gives a second life to your hard drive. You can take it on the go with you and it protects it. And also what it does is that it has a power on off button, which is good. So sometimes maybe you're gonna connect the Sabrent, but you don't want to use the drive, you just turn it off. And it has a good lengthy USB 3.0 cable that is really thick, so it doesn't hinder the speed and the operation of this enclosure and the hard drive that is in the enclosure or the SSD drive. And also it is lengthy, so it is 2.6 feet, which makes it more versatile. What I like less about this enclosure is that the USB cable that is provided, even though it is lengthy and of good thickness, it makes it rigid. So it is hard to position the enclosure, especially if you have an SSD drive in it. So it is light and it doesn't have like a rubberized feet to keep it in place. But this is maybe nitpicking from me. Overall, I really like this enclosure and the way it performs. So that was my review of the Sabrent enclosure, the 2.5-inch hard drive enclosure. I hope that you liked this review and found it useful. If you did, please share it, subscribe to my channel, and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it and it will help the channel greatly. I want to thank you all for watching and see you in the next video.